Good afternoon. Welcome back to our weekly look at the psalm for the upcoming Sunday. This week, our psalm is going to be portion of Psalm 69, verses 8 through 20. Surely for your sake have I suffered reproach, and shame has covered my face. I become a stranger to my own kindred, an alien to my mother's children. Zeal for your house has eaten me up. The scorn of those who scorn you has fallen upon me. I humbled myself with fasting, but that was turned to my reproach. I put on sackcloth also, became a byword among them. Those who sit at the gate murmur against me. The drunkards make songs about me. But as for me, this is my prayer to you, the time you set, O Lord. In your great mercy, O God, answer me with your unfailing help. Save me from the mire. Do not let me sink. Let me be rescued from those who hate me and out of the deep waters. But not the torrent of waters wash over me, neither let the deep swallow me up. Do not let the pit shut its mouth upon me. Answer me, Lord, for your love is kind. Your great compassion turn to me. Hide not your face from your servant. Be swift and answer me, for I am in distress. Draw near to me and redeem me. Because of my enemies, deliver me. In this psalm, the psalmist is lamenting just their humanness, their sin, the folly, all the things that come along with being a person. The writer of the psalm talks about how they are just eaten up with the gravity of not being perfect, of being sinful, of being a human, and wanting so deeply to worship and love, be rescued by God out of the anguish that they are in. They're so eaten up with their folly and their sin that says they've become a stranger to their own kindred. People don't even know them. And those that do see them, they reproach, they make fun of them. The drunkards are making songs about them because of their zeal for the Lord, the zeal for God, their God. The psalmist, the writer, is sinking down into the pit of being an object of scorn, of ridicule. But they call out to God and know that God is merciful, and in God's time, will ultimately help them, will save them, will rescue them from this anguish, the pain and the lament that they are in. And compassion, restore them, heal them, make them whole. So many times we can be eaten up with things that we do, things that we don't do, folly, our sin, whatever is eating us up inside, whatever we are lamenting. And just like the psalmist, we cry out to God, rescue me, save me from this mire, this muck, this pit that I'm in. And just like the writer of the psalm says, in God's time, that cry will be answered. We don't know when, we don't always know how, but God is gracious and loving, and will answer that cry and take us from that pit, take us from that suffering, that anguish. Might not always look the way we want it to. If you read on to the psalmist goes and is crying out to God for all of these judgments to come on those who are mocking him. We don't always get that, as much as sometimes we might want it. But ultimately, just like the writer of the psalm, God is gracious and loving, and we will be restored. We will be made whole.